And for those in the audience who still may be wondering what life is all about, I feel that former President Woodrow Wilson summed it up very simply. He said this: "You're not here simply to make a living. You are here in order to enable the world to live with a finer spirit of hope and achievement. You are here to enrich the world, and you impoverish yourself if you forget the errand."
Well, we're actually very excited to be here with Ray Automotive. They've been a great partner and are stepping up to really promote the Alive at 25, which is a national program that is dedicated to saving the lives of individuals between the age of 15 and 25. This program deals with the behaviors of young individuals rather than the mechanics of driving. Unfortunately, the state of South Carolina is ranked number 4 when it comes to teenage fatalities.
It's nothing to play with. You have to be aware of everything around you at all times when you're driving, the cell phones and the texting, and it can happen so quick. Accidents kill.
And if statistics bear out, roughly 1/3 of those drivers who lost their lives on South Carolina's highways were teen drivers.
There is no soft, gracious way that you can envision losing a youngster. It's just, your heart won't stand it.
Before our last death, every one of us would talk individually or in groups. What are we going to do? What can we do?
The South Carolina National Safety Council is recognized for being a leader in safety, is recognized for defensive driving and emergency care and occupational safety and health. The one thing that it wasn't recognized and wasn't well known in the community was for partnering with law enforcement. And we were very, very fortunate to be able to have a meeting with, at that time, Lieutenant Jim Crawford and Chief Bruce Rucker. We ended up going into a meeting a week later with Sheriff Metz, and within 20 minutes, he said, "Brooke, it's done."
And that's why the program is successful, because we've got so many people throughout this county and throughout this state that's saying, "Let me be involved. I'll help you make it happen."
Our young people are dying, and I'm going to do something about it. Dutch Fork High School, in April of 2007, they had contacted us and said that, and informed us that they had had 6 fatalities in this school year, and that their school was falling apart, that they needed to do something to truly make a difference, to hopefully mend the students, the faculty, and the community of Irmo. We ended up going into a joint partnership with Dutch Fork High School, Colorado State Patrol, and the Family Foundation, and we did the first teen driving safety assembly in the state of South Carolina to launch the South Carolina Alive at 25 program.
It is my hope that you will leave here today with a better understanding of how precious life is and how quickly it can be gone.
We would like to officially present you all with a plaque for being the first teen driver safety assembly in the state of South Carolina, and for stepping up and saying that you will be alive at 25. In May of 2007, we put 750 students through the program in 1 month for Dutch Fork High School, which typically had tragedies of a minimum of 2 fatalities every single year. And since May of 2007, they've had 0 fatalities within their school. One of the first districts in the state of South Carolina to contact us was Lexington District 1. They didn't want to just implement it at one of their schools because it was a district-wide issue. They wanted to make sure that they gave each and every one of their students the course and put them through Alive at 25 in the hopes of saving their lives.
In our district, we had 7 children who lost their lives in automobile accidents in the last several years, and our hearts were broken. We wanted to do something.
From February 2007 to today, we put over 30,000 kids through this program. 30,000 kids have sat in a 4.5-hour class, has been taught by our amazing law enforcement officers in South Carolina, and in the hopes of saving lives.
And when you have people in law enforcement telling their experiences about what it means to show up at an accident scene, what it means to knock on the door of a family to tell them that their kid's not coming home, it is a very powerful message. I think it is as far as I can tell, the best program in terms of trying to educate teenagers and prevent fatalities.
Alive at 25 is a program, but it's the tool that brings the collaboration of law enforcement, the community, your parents, your high schools, your faculties. It's a tool that gives hope. During the benefit dinner and appreciation dinners every year, we decide on our focus for the upcoming year. And so every year we've done it from the PSAs.
I was stopped for a burned out brake light when the officer noticed an unopened hot beer on my rear floorboard. It wasn't mine. I hadn't been drinking. I was only 16, so I was charged with possession.
They had left to go home, and they went around a sharp turn and hit a tree. One guy was living for about an hour pinned to the tree, and the other guy got his brainstem separated. And they were like my brothers, the closest thing I've ever had to me. And
that car went up in the air, struck out a couple trees, and threw him out. It was just a matter of time. The doctor had told me that he was going to be brain dead. And the EMS workers told me that Tyler said to them, "Tell my mama I love her."
To the second year, the Megan video.
Megan knew her gifts, and she dreamed of helping people. Even before high school, she knew she wanted to be a pediatric nurse or eventually a pediatrician. She cared deeply for people. Our lives are forever changed by Megan's tragic accident. There's an emptiness in our hearts that can never be filled. But Megan looked for the good in everything.
Last year, the roundtable video.
The role of parents in the learning to drive process is paramount. To get young drivers ready for the responsibility, parents need to be armed with the skills and communication techniques to get through to them.
The last accident that we had at Wren High School, Austin McCullum was a lifelong friend of my son's. And on the eve of Austin's funeral, I told my husband that night, I'm done. And I don't know what it is that we have to find. Well, we've got to figure out something.
We are making a difference. Can we reach zero? Absolutely we can, and we will. Will we spread across South Carolina to all counties, all cities, all schools, to all people? Absolutely we will, because we can. We can and we will make a difference.
Over the past 3.5 years, one of the hardest days in our office is the fact that pretty much the 6th or 7th of every month, we get a list from the Department of Public Safety that goes over all 15 to 24-year-olds that have been involved in a vehicle collision in our state. We call that D-Day. You know, because you venture from anywhere from 7 to 16 young people have died, and we utilize this to cross-reference it with our database to see if any of those individuals have participated in Alive at 25. We started to see the decrease in numbers in fatalities statewide go down in this age group, and we were really happy and excited about that. But then at the council, we realized that one life is just one too many.
Until we see that day that no fatalities happen with any driver, especially teen drivers when they're so preventable, any effort we do is not enough. We have to keep trying.
You assess a number. Well, 100's acceptable. You know, if we cut it in half, 100's acceptable. I beg to differ. I say 0 is acceptable. Exactly. That not one person is an acceptable death.
It's not all about putting people in jail being an officer. It's not about that. I come to you to bring you good news that we are going to get to 0. We don't want to get to 0. We are going to get to 0. That's where we are going to be.
And now we're representing something bigger and better this year. Something that will hopefully not only motivate our parents, but also our Group 1, the 15 to 24-year-olds that are going to take advantage of something that is created, produced specifically for them. We've decided it's time to focus on our young people, to focus on our next generation, and that's what the goal of 0 is now going to be, because they want to be the zero hero. The zero hero. They want to accomplish the goal of being alive at 25.
Want to be alive at 25, there are rules to follow when you drive. When you're in the car with too many distractions, it can be a fatal attraction. Talking on the phone, trying to send a text, keeps your eyes from seeing what to expect.
Wanna be alive at 25, there are rules to follow when you drive.
Now alcohol and drugs lead to grim reaper hugs. Then your life is over. Music too loud, an unruly crowd, speeding's gonna get you pulled over. Now if you don't stay alive to 25, it can be very consequential. You have family and friends that depend on you living up to full potential.
Wanna be alive at 25, there are rules to follow when you drive.
Now listen to Zero, he's your new hero, trying to help you stay alive. He's here to mention why to pay attention
whenever you drive. Wanna be alive at 25, there are rules to follow when you drive. Wanna be alive at 25, there are rules to follow when you drive.
When you're in the car with too many distractions, it can be a fatal attraction. Talking on the phone, trying to send a text, keeps your eyes from seeing what to expect.
Wanna be alive at 25, there are rules to follow when you drive.
Now alcohol and drugs lead to grim reaper hugs. Then your life is
over.
Music too loud, an unruly crowd, speeding's gonna get you pulled over. Now if you don't stay alive to 25, it can be very consequential. You have family and friends that depend on you living up to full potential.
Wanna be alive at 25, there are rules to follow when you drive.
Now listen to Zero, he's your new hero, trying to help you stay alive. He's here to mention why to pay attention
whenever you drive. Wanna be alive at 25, there are rules to follow